hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, first of all, happy 100th episode to Sistas, okay? Happy 100th episode. This was the 100th episode of Sistas, okay? But, child, all right, this is my review recap for Sistas Pursuit for the Truth, Season 5, Episode 9. Why y'all want to raise my blood pressure all the time? Why do y'all want to raise my blood pressure all the time, okay? I don't understand it. Sometimes y'all could give me a little bit of a break. Y'all ain't got to be trying to get me cursing people out every single daggone episode, okay? So, y'all, we got, Danny. She's needing a friend right now. Andy does come through. She is there for her. She is giving her great advice. Some advice that she, of course, herself is not going to follow. And we got Fatima coming through, doing the things that we expect Fatima to do, okay? I'm here for Danny and Fatima, meet up, okay? Let's get these two together. Let's have this fantastic duo. I would be here for it. I would love to see it, okay? I have nothing at all against that. I think they would be a powerful team, all right? I've always liked them too. And Fatima was me. I was Fatima because, baby, I would have found all that info quick, fast, and in a hurry. You hear me? Get Sabrina out, all right? We need Sabrina out right now, today, okay? Yesterday, ASAP. Stop playing daggone games. Y'all got my girl looking all beat up and, you know what I'm saying, chained up. And she's innocent, okay? She is innocent. So let's get Sabrina out, all right? They got her locked up. They don't want to let her out. This daggone lawyer over here holding damn animosity and a vendetta against damn Andy for his wife and they damn divorce. Child, we ain't got time for that, okay? Get him up out of here. We need, Fatima to call madam. We need Andy to make up with damn Robin, all right, and see what the heck he could do. We need some things to get done. So let's go ahead and get into this episode, y'all. We start out this episode, of course, with Miss Danny still crying, still hysterical, still out of it. Finally breaking down the details of everything that transpired between her and old raggedy airport abuser, all right, and letting her know he hit me, he spit on me, and telling her what she did with the car and all of that. And of course, Andy is like, but how do you know that you killed him, okay? What makes you think that you killed him? He could have still possibly been alive when you drove away, But, of course, she's letting her know, like, listen, because Danny says she blacked out. She was like, I'm not sure. I'm telling you the parts that I remember. Fatima come back in with some water. They telling her to go ahead and drink up this water. And, Fatima was basically saying, like, well, because 1 minute Andy's like, Fatima, can you stay? And she's telling her to close the door. And she tells Fatima, it tells Danny, Fatima might actually be able to help. So Fatima like, what's going on? So once she says the guy hit her and spit in her face, Fatima was like, oh, what? Wait, what? What you said? Rewind, okay? Bring it back again. Who was this dude? What is going on? What happened? So, Danny puts her up to speed and she basically was letting them know, like, she blacked out. She was like, girl, I don't know what I did after that, okay? I couldn't believe that this was happening to me. And I went and got in that car and basically chased his behind down and ran him over. So Andy was like, look, when you did whatever in the house, like, that would have been fine. But once you went after him and got in that car, that's a problem. Fatima was like, sounds like self-defense to me. And Andy was like, Fatima, and Fatima like, what? And so Danny was like, I think she's right. At this point, Andy said, I think that you should go ahead and maybe step out, okay? She was like, self-defense would be in her home, not outside. So when she was saying for her to leave, Danny's like, nah, she could stay. I like what she's saying. I like where she coming from. I don't want her to go nowhere. Let her stay her behind right up in here with me, Andy was letting her know that things is a little bit complicated. And Fatima was like, unless, okay? And then Andy's like, unless nothing, like, go ahead and step outside. But, Danny's like, nah, let her stay, okay? She like what she hearing from her. And so, she just was basically telling them everything that happened, and Andy's telling both of them to calm down. She's telling, Danny, she don't need to be in this headspace right now. She needs to relax, relate, release. Okay, she was like, I know you went through a traumatic experience, and your adrenaline is rushing, and things is crazy right now, but we want to bring it on down. She was like, I'm gonna need both of y'all behinds to calm down or whatever, right? And so Danny was saying, nah, he spit on me. Nobody ain't gonna spit on me and just get away with it, all right? I ain't trying to hear that. Like, he spit in my damn face. And I'm sorry, but I'm with Danny on this one, okay? I know a lot of people are talking about the fact that she didn't know him and what happened before that. And good points was made. But at the end of the day, that has nothing to do with the fact of what this man did to her. And so, Fatima over here looking up info, baby, and she already found his info and apparently was like, yo, he's at the hospital. He's not dead, because she was looking to see if there's any type of news reports. She was like, what's his last name? Danny was like, I can't really remember that part right now. They like, okay, fine, don't worry about it. And they like, what time did this happen? And she says like 3 a.m. They like, yeah, so by now it would have been some type of info out about him, right? And so when Fatima looks it up, she sees that he's not dead. Okay, he's in the hospital with some broke ribs. And they talking about he was in a motorcycle accident. So obviously he has stuff to hide. He has more to his story. We can automatically see that, because who is going to go to the hospital on their own or whatever and just be like, oh, I was in a motorcycle accident. So that's already sending off, more red flags. And so they could kind of calm down, and it's like, okay, girl, good. Then you didn't kill him. We don't have that to worry about. And it's like, he didn't call, the cops and tell them what really happened. And so Fatima was saying to her, like, girl, what I'm saying? If you want me to go ahead and hit up my cousin or whatever, she's the truth. She ain't no joke. I know some people. Andy's saying, yeah, she knows a lot of people. She got a little pull and, different area codes, okay? So, Fatima was like, listen, all you got to do is say done, and baby, and it will be done, okay? I know I don't know you like that, but I got your back. I'm here for you. And, you just got to say the word. And basically, Danny was like, the word, okay, done, let's get it, okay? So Andy had to tell everybody, simmer down, all right? Everyone calm down, relax, relate, release. We ain't gonna do all of that. She was like, girl, why don't you step out the office for a minute, so, I'm saying, to Fatima. And she telling, Danny, let's just celebrate and be happy that it's not worse than what we thought it was, okay? Because a minute ago, we thought you could have possibly been going to jail for daggone murder. And she was like, I don't think y'all both need to be talking right now. I need to separate y'all. And Danny was basically like, yo, I like her, okay? I like her a lot. Okay? That made me laugh. But they just trying to get things calmed down or whatever. So she was like, well, I'm trying to help you as far as legally and make sure that your behind stay up out of, jail, whatever. At least he's alive. And Danny was trying to calm herself down. She's like, I can't believe he put his damn hands on me and all of that type of stuff. But her and Andy do have a real conversation where Andy is basically like, girl, what was you doing? What was you thinking? And she was like, I know I messed up or whatever, and it was ill-advised, and she was about to try to leave. And Andy was like, I know you don't just think you're going to get up and walk about the office after this whole thing went down, after you done came to my daggone job hysterical thinking you killed somebody. She like, look at me, we got to talk. And so she have this heart-to-heart conversation with her where she's like, I know you. She was like, you're my best friend. I care about you. And this was different for Andy and Danny. I like seeing them having this conversation. She's like, I love you. I care about you. I don't want to see you hurting. You've been hurting so bad, for a minute now. And she basically was telling her, like, you've been through so many things in your life or whatever. And so that's why you're doing some of the things that you're doing. I know and I see it. And she was like, you got to let all that stuff go, baby. And so Danny was basically like, I know, I get it, And Andy was telling her, don't deflect, like, I'm serious. Like, come on, let's talk about this and be in this moment and be for real. She was like, I know that you're hurting about Preston, and I know that you want to hurt him before he can hurt you. And, your whole life you've been hurting and going through different things, and you're always running from the trauma and from your healing or whatever the case may be. And it's not worth losing a friend. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, you're going to have to go ahead and face these things. Do you understand? And so Danny was like, listen, that's good, Andy. I hear you. She was like, that's real good or whatever the case may be. She was like, but Miss Gary shouldn't be giving me advice. All right. And so, you know, Andy was like, yeah, but I can. She was like, I don't want you to be like me. So in other words, you know, do as I say, don't do as I do. I said, yeah, Andy, she do got a point there too, right? But they were both telling each other the truth. And she was like, you know, stop being stubborn and stuff like that. And I feel like when you are friends or family, whatever have you, you care about people, you need to tell them the truth. They may not want to listen to you in that moment, but to me, a real friend don't sit there and just tell people what they want to hear and tell them lies. Okay, so I appreciated them having that you know, conversation. So she was telling her, like, you still need to go ahead and have a conversation with Preston. You need to call him up or whatever the case may be. And Danny was saying she got to go to work. That's what she needs to do. And she was like, okay, fine. But when you get to work, you go ahead and call him. And they both had a little minute where they was tearing up and had to go ahead and take, you know what I'm saying, those tissues out and wipe the tears away from, you know, their eyes. And then Danny was talking to her saying, can I ask you a question? Now, Andy want to be like, oh, I don't got time for questions or whatever. But of course, she wanted to ask about what this whole thing is with Gary. Why the heck is she back up there messing with him and all of that, right, child? We all want to know, all right? And she was just saying that, of course, the whole lawsuit thing and all of that, and that basically, you know, she's being nice to him for now to keep him calm. And Danny was like, so basically you're playing him. And she was like, oh no, I'm keeping him calm. And she's like, by playing him, okay? And so, you know, that's basically what it was with that. And so then she go ahead to you know, leave. But before she left, you know, Fatima came back in the office, and baby, Fatima done got more of a scoop. This boy got a whole bunch of arrests underneath his daggone belt, okay? A whole bunch where he is showing domestic violence and abuse and things of that nature. So this is a regular pattern for him, and that basically makes us understand, okay, and see why he was so comfortable coming out like that, why his marriage probably didn't freaking work and that lady was getting the heck up away from him, and why he did not report anything to the daggone police, because this is something that he has done. So again, Fatima is just letting her know, like, girl, you know, this guy is trash. This is something that he does that's a regular daggone pattern for him or whatever. And so if we got to get some things done or whatever, you know, I ain't got a problem with doing it. I'm just the one that should do it, because she came in here like, I thought y'all should see this and you should look at this. And she, you know, Andy was like, how the hell you get his entire record? She was like, girl, his mother, the source he has against women, everything. All right. I know it all. Okay. And she was even telling them, like, call the police. But she was like, you need to stop him and stuff like that before he does this again. But, you know, Andy was like, listen, you cannot just handle it in that way. But she was like, thank you for the information. And, you know, Fatima was telling her, you're welcome. And so, you know, Fatima was telling her, call her anytime if she needed or whatever, right? And so, you know, as Fatima was getting ready to leave out, or after she left out, Danny was saying to Andy, like, yeah, keep her around, okay? Keep her around. She's good to have around. Like, I really do like her. And now, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like that vibe. I actually hope going forward we see more of Danny and, you know, Fatima together. And Andy was just saying, like, come on, we got to be smart, okay? This man is dangerous. She was like, I can't lose you over a hot girl summer, okay? Let's make sure we clear on that or whatever. So Danny told her that part definitely wasn't playing like that. And, you know, so she said she had to go to work, and she went ahead to go ahead and get out of there, right? And they said they was going to meet up to go see about the Sabrina situation, all right? So when we get in from there, we had daggone Deja out here talking to daggone Zach, talking about, can she help him with his bags? He like, no, girl, I don't need your help with no daggone bags. I'm good. And she like, he telling her like, come on, don't be pushing up on me. She like, oh no, you ain't got to worry about that no more. She was like, first of all, I know your daggone girl crazy. He said, oh, you know that all of a sudden now? She was like, yeah, I do. She was like, and do you know who her cousin is? And do you know what the heck happened to her cousin's man? And so he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, madam, okay, she ain't nothing to be played with. She was like, child, her husband is daggone dead, honey. We don't know where he is. We never saw him again. She got him dead, chopped up somewhere in a ditch, buried, all right, to never be seen again. That made me laugh so freaking hard. So she was like, you ain't got to worry about me pushing up on you no more, because I don't want to end up dead. And she basically was saying like, and on top of that, you and Fatima's engaged, right? So we finding out that they are engaged already in the Sisters universe, child. And she threw it out there like, sometimes she have the ring on, sometimes she don't. Tyler, you need to stop freaking playing with us, because a lot of us was looking at her ring finger like, where is the ring? Okay, thinking that when he said he was taking her out, he more than likely was taking her out to propose to her, because we wasn't seeing it. So they gonna throw that little line in there from Deja where she like, sometimes I see her with the ring on, sometimes I don't. I say, yeah, okay, y'all. So he was basically like, yes, we are. And then she over there talking about madam is notorious. And Zach was like, really notorious? But she said, that man dead somewhere in the daggone ditch. She don't play. So she was like, child, I'm even worried about you. I'm trying to warn you, because if you don't come correct, that could be your daggone behind too. And so that was pretty much that with them. Zach just hurried up and was trying to get the heck away from her and get in the house like, okay. So we move on from there, and we get Aaron coming over to damn Karen house, child, talking about they don't know the ice cream you like. They don't know how to rub your feet like me, because she telling him over and over and over that her friends is coming. She good. She don't need him to be there. And he's saying how her mother called him 5 times. And she like, what? And he was like, yeah, your mama don't play, okay? And so he basically was saying how he want to cook for her and all this stuff. But she was telling him like, actually, they do know my ice cream I like. And she was like, I appreciate you by stopping by. But like I said, my friend's going to be here in a little bit. So you could go ahead and go. And he was basically like, oh, you just want to kick me out? You want me going like that? And he's over here like, I know how to take care of you. I know how to rub your feet. Baby, is about me and you and all this stuff. So she tells him about how she read this article that talks about you really get to know somebody by looking through their phone. And he like, so what are you saying? You want to look through my phone? Oh, no, I don't want to look through it. I said, child, whatever. Who cares about this with Karen with her shenanigans? Because why, child, do you want to look through a man's phone that you claiming you don't even want to be with and you don't like? All right. But he basically pulls it up on his phone, and he's like, is this the article? This is the first one. This what comes up when I type it in. And she said, yeah, that her mother was the one that sent it to her. And he said, like I said, mama be on it. So he over here just basically passed her the phone, like, knock yourself out, have fun, look through it. And she's like, what's the password? And he told her, I can't remember what it was, child. But he told her, and she go ahead and she look in there or whatever. So he was like, in the meantime, while you doing that, I'm going to cook you something. He like, you want beef or chicken? She talking about neither one. I want some daggone noodles. He like, what kind of noodles? She say, angel hair. He say he going to go get them. I said, so Aaron, you didn't think to call her first and ask her what the heck she wanted? You over here just automatically bringing beef and chicken and inviting yourself, child? They be annoying me. I'm sorry, y'all, but they do. I'm just going to keep it real. So he ended up going to the store for it. And when she was trying to give him back his phone, she's like, no, you go ahead and keep it or whatever. I'm not worried about it. Now, in the meantime, Danny is at work and Q is all up in her face. He trying to talk about, yeah, girl, you are fine, and how he bored and ain't really nothing to do. And he want to lose this job. He here waiting for the plane to come or whatever the case may be. Danny does call up Preston, and he over here answering on the first damn ring, talking about, you don't know how hard it is for me to fight to not call you. I'll be wanting to call you so daggone bad, and I miss you. I truly do. Okay. And she basically was like, okay, Preston, right? And saying that she want to talk to him. And she was like, when do you think you could get here? And he said he could fly out today. And then she was asking him if he could drive or whatever. And he was like, yes, will do, done, okay. And so she was like, but outside the apartment. And so he like, okay, you want me to meet you outside? Got it. So I'm like, Child, Preston, you about to run your behind back over here on a flight, child, to get to her? Like, okay, I guess, because at this point, after what they made Preston say with the daggone girlfriend that he always wanted to marry, that he supposedly took this break from to see what else was out there, and if, Danny didn't say she wanted him, he was going to go back to her. I was kind of turned off with the whole Preston thing, all right? Not to mention all the different foolishness that Danny done been playing games with during this time. But I'm like, okay, I guess whatever, he do truly love Danny. And now that she asking to go ahead and have this conversation with him, he gonna come back and he gonna have it. And so when she's hanging up the phone with him, this is when Q is all coming up in her face, and she like, listen, I don't want to be bothered, okay? Ain't nobody got time for this. She was like, today of all days, I'm not in the mood with that. Get to step in, bye, be gone. And so as soon as he moved out of her view, child, why I thought for a minute she was imagining things. We got old freaking airport abuser man sitting in the chair grilling her. I said, so he got broke ribs and everything, and came out the hospital 2 seconds later and sitting in the airport and just sitting staring in her face, mean mugging her or whatever. And so you could see on Danny's face like her heart dropped. Okay, this would be the last person she would be expecting to be sitting there. And even Q catches it, and he looked like, what the heck is he sitting there staring at you like that for? And Danny just keep being like, I don't know, don't worry about it, don't say nothing, like, don't do that. And, she's saying there's nothing or whatever. But Q keep looking at him and then looking. And she's like, this dude? He was like, what is his problem? Why he looking all crazy like that? So now we want to try to act like we giving damn Q some type of daggone redemption, which no thank you. I do not want it, okay? The clock is right twice a day or whatever the case may be. A broke clock can be, right twice a day. But child, Q is still trash, okay? I don't give a damn how much he step up and say whatever in this case. Because if Danny find out what the heck he did with Sabrina, trust me, she gonna be running his behind over with the damn car too. So he looking, and he like, yo, I'm gonna go talk to this, because I don't like how he coming out. What the hell is his problem? So he come over, he like, yo, gates closed. What's good? Why you sitting here? And old abuser guy talking about something, oh, well, I'm waiting for my son. I'm good. I got my son coming on the flight. Q putting his foot up on the daggone chair talking about, you see this ankle monitor here? And then abuser guy talking about, like I said, I'm good or whatever. And so Q was telling him like he looking for any reason to get fired. And he was like, you would be just the one to give me what I need. And he was like, you hear me? And he started like pulling on his damn crutch and everything. And so he's like I said, all smiling at Q, I'm good. My son is coming in or whatever. I'm waiting on him. And so he was like, all right, okay, I hear you. So he go back over to Danny and he tell her like he claiming that his son is on the flight, and she looks it up and she's like, yeah, okay, actually his son is on the flight because I see that there's a child that's traveling by themselves. And so he was like, oh, he is telling the truth. He was like, I was hoping that he wasn't, so I could go ahead and lose this job. And Danny's like, well, why the heck would you want to lose this job? He was like, because she was like, if that's the case, why don't you just quit? And he was like, because I would get fired. She was like, what are you talking about? What does that mean? I wanted him to slip up so bad. Of course he started talking about, what do you mean? Well, no, I just got to have, like, if they fire me, then it won't fall on me. But if I quit, then I would be basically penalized for that or whatever, right? I'm supposed to keep a job for a while. And she's like, well, anyway, I ain't got time to be worried about that, right? And so he go on about his business after that. Now, in the meantime, while damn Aaron is out shopping for whatever the hell he's, Angel here that's taking him an hour apparently, Karen go ahead and call up Andy, and she's like, girl, I'm here with his phone. I done been in it in an hour. They say you learn something with a person with their phone. She was like, he just left it here with me. She even made the comment like, oh, Zach would never do that. Well, guess what, girl? He do it with Fatima, okay? But she's telling Andy like, yeah, he left it here with me. She was like, girl, there gotta be something up, because I'm telling you, she was like, my mother felt it too. She said, I'm looking through the phone and I can't find not one thing. It ain't no text, it ain't no pictures, it ain't no, whatever different stuff in here that you would expect to see. So she was like, well, what is it? Are you mad that, you can't find anything because you just searching for it. She was like, isn't that supposed to be something good? She was like, it's no woman, it's no random chicks, it's nothing, no type of crazy pictures. So she was like, well, there you have it. That answers your question. She was like, yeah. She was like, girl, you trying to find something wrong with that man or whatever. And she was like, maybe you're right. So she was like, yeah, I am always right. But of course, when she's asking her, like, are y'all gonna be here later or whatever, is like quiet for a minute, and then Andy's like, yeah, well, I'll definitely be there, or me and Danny will be there, but I haven't been getting Sabrina right now. And Karen is saying how Sabrina's not answering none of her calls, and at this point she knows it's something freaking wrong, and she's asking Andy like, what the heck is going on? And of course Andy don't want to tell her nothing because she want to keep her calm, and want, she supposed to be on the bed rest and all of that stuff. So she trying to hide it from her, but it's like eventually she gonna have to say something regardless. Now, when we, have them hang up, we back at the office, and Andy and, Fatima's basically leaving out at the same time, saying goodnight, and you look nice and this and that, and we gonna see each other tomorrow or whatever. And so, Fatima stop and realize, oh, Zach baby mama that she did the damn DNA test is sitting here. She like, girl, I know I ain't seeing you sitting here. She's like, oh, you work here? She's like, no, I'm just standing here looking pretty. So here come Hayden walking out talking about some, oh, hey, how you doing? She, I'm the one you here to see or whatever. Just walk straight down, and my name is Hayden or whatever, and my name is on the door. You gonna see the door and go in there and wait for me. And so she over here talking about how you spell it, and he was like Hadan. She's walking down the damn hall like Hadan. So he's stopping, and he's like, oh, what a surprise. Wouldn't you know? Okay, I had somebody from Chain Breakers contact me because he was saying this girl that works at a strip club basically needs to go ahead and file, some type of suit to get money or whatever the case may be for her baby daddy. And who should it be but Mr. Zachary Taylor or whatever, to my surprise, okay? What a small world it is, because previous to that, when him just mentioned that she wanted to take her, baby father to court, I didn't have no interest. But when I heard that name, I said, oh yeah, come on in. I could be a big help to you. So, Fatima like, whatever, y'all want to be out here playing games, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and have fun with that or whatever, right? And I was just like, listen, how many times I'm going to ask y'all to kill Hayden off? Like, how many times am I going to ask y'all to really just throw this whole daggone man away? Y'all know I got my list of people that I just want them to run over and 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 run over till there's nothing left. And he is definitely on the list, child. He's sitting there with this daggone smug daggone look on his face, and I'll just be wanting to slap it off. So of course he's like, super excited to sit there and damn play in, Fatima face or whatever. And I'm glad that she paid him absolutely no damn mind, okay? Sick of it. And that was basically, well, no. We was at the end, they go see Sabrina, child. They got my girl with this afro on her head. It ain't funny. Sabrina looks so pitiful, child. She come walking in there with the chains, and Danny is like, oh my God, like, girl, they got you all chained up. They want damn Danny to be like she damn Superman when he got the glasses on. And she got on this suit, and they standing there waiting, and she's saying to Andy like, are you sure this gonna work? And Andy like, yeah, just keep it together. When Sabrina first walking in, Danny talking about some, hey girl, and Andy had to clean it up like, hi miss, and get all professional with it. And Danny sat up and was trying to get professional too, and so the officer could walk out. So all this time that Sabrina has been in there, she don't even know what the hell she arrested for. She's like, girl, they cut all my damn hair off. They trying to tell her, well, you still look good with your natural hair. Don't worry about it. She's like, that's not the damn point, okay? She was like, they have not even told me what the hell I'm in here for. What am I getting, what did I get arrested for? She was like, you got to tell me something. And Danny says, yeah, tell her. She's like, what the hell is going on? So they basically let her know, of course, this happened because of Q. and they got Maurice on tape and all this other stuff. So they like, we working as hard as we can to get you out of here. Trust me, we have been on it, all right? We trying to do everything we can. And she was like, yeah, I know. She was like, please don't tell my mother about this. And she was like, you gotta be kidding me. She was like, how the hell is this happening? I did absolutely nothing wrong. Like, this cannot be real. And so, you know, she was letting her know, like, yes, girl, this is what's happening, but we are going to help you. So she was like, how? What the hell are you going to do? She was like, well, didn't Robin help, you know, Fatima and Zach before? She said, yeah, but this is a little different because it's a federal case. She was like, but, you know, bear with me. She was like, did you even ask him? She's like, yeah, I asked him. But of course, when she's like, what did he say? She can't tell her that part, okay? Because we know she done had the falling out with Robin. So she's like, you know, that's complicated. But trust me, we're not going to stop for a minute. We are going to be working on everything that we can, all right? Just believe me. So in the midst of them going back and forth and talking with her, we have this lawyer come in that's like, yeah, excuse me, Angie Barnes. And she's like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you know, you ain't no daggone criminal lawyer. Who's the lawyer? And he's looking through his paperwork. And she was like, well, I work at a big firm. Okay, it's quite a few of us and some other lawyers that's going to be coming in. He like, I don't see any other lawyer names wrote down. So he was like, can we step outside and talk for a minute? And Sabrina was saying, no, like, you know, I want to hear too, talking here in front of us, all of us or whatever. So she was like, no, I'm going to step outside with him for a minute. And she was like, Danny, you just staying here with her, you know, a little bit longer and talk. Because he was getting mad like, oh, you don't remember me? And she's like, no, should I? And he was like, oh, you handled my divorce, like coming with all this damn attitude or whatever. And it's like, okay, I handle a lot of divorces. You know what I'm saying? That's my job. And so when they get outside in the hallway, he's still busy like, oh, you don't know who my wife is and my name is not even familiar to you. My face is not familiar to you. He was like, yeah, you took all this money from me. You know, my wife got some guy that's hanging at the house now and this and that. And I said, what does this have to do with Sabrina? And not that long after I said that, Andy was saying the same thing. She's like, okay, that was my job. I did my job or whatever the case may be. But right now I'm not here about that. And he's like, yeah, you're here about your friend. She was like, how you know what I'm saying, that she's my friend? And he was saying that the judge told him. Now, what I was not sure of is that the same judge that Madam told her to call, that he's saying calls him and told him this, or is this the judge that's on Sabrina's case? That's the part I was a little confused with, because she was like, really? And he was like, yeah, the judge had told him all of this or whatever, right? And so he was basically like, you know, yeah, you're her friend and you're not a legal lawyer. So if you don't get your behind up out of here or whatever, you know, I could actually end up bringing you in for fraud and you could get in trouble. And that person that you got in there is not no type of like, you know, legal assistant or anything like that either. And so she basically was like, I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. You know, he was getting mad because she didn't remember him and remember the case right away, and spending like a good 5 minutes talking about that. I'm like, child, we don't care. We don't know you and we don't want to know you. Like, now we going to hold up damn Sabrina stuff because you got a personal vendetta out, you know? Like, come on, give me a freaking break with that mess. All right, Tyler, you doing too much. And so he basically was like, yeah, Judge Ross told me everything, and also that she's not going to be getting out, because she was like, well, shouldn't we be talking about her bail? And he was like, she ain't going nowhere. She's staying her behind right up in here. He was like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? So, you know, Andy is saying, what do you mean? And so he basically was like, yeah, she's staying in here. She ain't getting out. You won't be seeing her no time soon. He was like, I'm trying to get 30 years. She was like, I know you freaking lying or whatever, right? So she told him, like, listen, whatever happened as far as your divorce and stuff like that don't have nothing to do with this situation. In her case, she was like I said, I work at a big firm. I'm one of the lawyers. There's a whole bunch of other lawyers that's going to be coming in here. He was like, no, you and your fake paralegal, okay, talking about Danny. He was like, yeah, I could go ahead and get up out of here. He was like, yeah, because she had called him Michael or whatever. And he was like, oh, now you want to call me by my name. And he was like, you know, you could go ahead and get your behind up out of here. And she was telling him that's unfair. And he was like, well, this has nothing to do with my wife. She was like, well, exactly. She was like, you know, Sabrina is innocent. She did not do this. And he was like, well, you need to leave and I will discuss that with the criminal attorney. And so that's when he said he was gonna be asking for 30 years, and she was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, she gonna be staying here for a very long time. You ain't gonna be seeing your friend, okay, again." I said, "Lord have mercy. I know y'all not about to put damn Sabrina through this mess, child." And we still have yet to see Maurice. And that basically was the end of the episode, y'all. You know, y'all go ahead and put it in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this one, child. Y'all watching the 100th episode? 100th episode anniversary special that came on. I only watched like the first 15-20 minutes of it because I was trying to get up here into this review for y'all, so I'm gonna go back and check it out. But give me a wave, let me know you came by, put some flames up in the sky, y'all. Okay, like, comment, subscribe if you are so inclined. Okay, till next time.